सेमिनार में आए प्रमुख कंपनियों के सीईओज और एमडीज ने डिबेट के दौरान ही अपने इंडिविजुअल आइडियाज और एडवाइजेस को पैनल के सामने रखा कि किस तरह से प्रेजेंट कंडीशन में मार्केट को बूस्ट किया जा सकता है।
Because if he's pulling everything, then probably there is a negative sense that he does not see value going forward. Do you think this is the only hanger on which IPOs will rest for the next year?
I think it's going to be an important hanger. 20 years ago there was no private equity market in India, and often companies would raise their first round of capital through IPO market. Greenfield projects would raise money. My first investment was Gujarat Ambuja when I was 13 years old, and they were raising money to set up their, to set up a cement plant. All they had was a piece of land and a license. Today you have a situation where you have a $20 billion private equity system. So very large, very deep private equity system. And on one hand, yes, private equity represents a certain level of diligence, oversight, governance, and let's not forget governance, because there are two very important requirements for a company to go public. One is financial maturity and the other is maturity in terms of governance. And in some ways, perhaps even a larger contribution by private equity is that they help mature a company from a governance perspective. What I was saying is that not only is it a validator, but the converse is a very important question. That if a company comes to public markets without having attracted private equity, at a time when private equity is a $20 billion a year system, then there's a very natural question, right? That is this company not good enough? Or maybe this company is good enough, but this company's governance principles, its philosophies are not aligned to the principle of sharing. To answer your question, I think this will remain and will in fact become a bigger and bigger principle, a bigger and bigger gate through which companies will have to pass, and it's a lens through which IPO investors will look at companies. That do these companies have private equity? What kind of private equity investors, and what's been the experience of private equity investors in these companies?
Couple of things, going through the discussions that you've just done. What we've been also emphasizing, we've been having this IPO initiative, and we ourselves work with a lot of companies, entrepreneurial companies which are in the early stages of growth. And what we try emphasizing out there is that this whole thing is a journey. The IPO is a journey, and it takes 6 to 24 months to get yourself ready to do that IPO ultimately. And so this whole thing about in the earlier days one used to say that I want to do an IPO, I want to go to the market, pick up some capital in 2 months, 3 months. Now those are kind of those days are gone, and so those are kind of very short-sighted people. And that I see is something that we followed the trend in India as what we've been kind of propagating globally as well, saying that this is a very, very big event, you've got to take this very, very seriously. There's a lot of due diligence, there's a lot of investor expectations, and all that is something that you got to. So that's one similarity that we brought, and we've actually seen these results, and we've kind of been talking to companies, and now they realize that this is something that they need to spend a lot of time and effort in, and that effort actually pays off. If you do your homework right, and if you spend that 1 year in preparing, then you can see success.
चेयरमैन पृथ्वी हल्दिया जी ने ITB प्लेटफॉर्म पर चर्चा करते हुए लोगों से राय मांगी। सेबी के ऑल टाइम मेंबर प्रशांत शरण जी ने सेमिनार के इनोवेटिव प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए बधाई दी।
Mr. Prithvi Haldia and all other distinguished panelists, it is of course a great pleasure for me to be here this morning. And it's not only a pleasure, it has been great education as well. And it is, I will again commend Mr. Prithvi Haldia on a very innovative kind of tweak on the way the program has been designed. So you have got a panel discussion first, and then a exit. So that is that is quite innovative, perhaps more innovative than T+6.